What's going on, guys? Aceman here. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys a beginner's gathering guide. We're going to be going over some beginner gathering tips and tricks that I really wish I knew before starting the game, because I know a lot of systems in this game can be very confusing when you first start. And hopefully this guide will help smoothen out your gathering journey. First off, whether you're starting in the Riverlands or you're starting in the Anvils, you're going to want to get your beginner gathering and crafting quests done. In the Riverlands specifically, in Lionhold, there's a quest called Sweat of Your Brow, and completing that quest will give you your first set of gathering tools, and also access to your first mount. So the Sweat of Your Brow quest will be found, just to give you guys a visual on the map, here in the Riverlands. Down here is Lionhold, and then the Sweat of Your Brow quest is in this building over here. You'll talk to the one tradesman there, and he'll give you the Sweat of Your Brow quest. For the Anvil side of things, you'll start inside the mountain, and down over here to the right is Hammerrest. Inside Hammerrest, just as you're coming out the mountain, over here on the left is Garim Hammersong, and he'll give you your beginner gathering quest over here in the Anvils, which will award you with some glint, some XP, and a mount. But this side in the Anvils, you actually don't have to complete the quest to get your gathering equipment. You can just come outside here, just outside of Hammerrest over here. As you get out of the mountain proper, just next to Tumpkin over here, you should see this cart with all of the relevant gathering gear that you'll need. On that point, there are 5 different gathering professions in Ashes of Creation, and each profession will have their own relevant piece of gathering equipment. The 5 different gathering systems are fishing, lumberjacking, mining, herbalism, and hunting. And for each respectively, you'll get a fishing rod, a lumberjacking axe, a mining pickaxe, a herbalism sickle, and a hunting bow. Along with each gathering profession, you'll also have a level for that specific profession. So if you hover over this little person icon here, at the top you'll see artisanship, and you can click on that, or alternatively the short key for it is just P. That'll bring you to your artisanship menu. And if you pull down the gathering menu here, you'll be able to see the level of each one of your gathering skills. So the gathering system in Ashes of Creation is very similar to how New World did it. Pretty much everything that you see out in the open world is able to be gathered. So if I jump off my ram here and I come up to one of these trees, I can just hit F and start chopping it down. And then once that resource has been gathered, it'll no longer be available, and it'll be set on a timer. Like how you can see these trees here are adolescent Western larch, but this tree here is an adult Western larch. So nobody has gathered this tree for a long enough time for it to grow into an adult. Something else important to note is that your tools do lose durability. When they do start losing durability, you'll get a little tooltip that says tools lose durability with each use. If one breaks, get it repaired at any vendor for a price. So you can just go up to a vendor and get your tools repaired if they do break. And you can also craft better versions of your tools that can give you different benefits, such as more gathering XP per resource that you gather, a faster gathering time, or more resources per material that you gather. So for herbalism, you'll usually find either little piles of snowdrop or daffodil, and same thing, you just walk up to them and start harvesting. Also, when harvesting your materials, you have a chance to get different rarities of material. So just there I got blue, which is rare snowdrop, and the rarities go from common white, uncommon green, rare blue, heroic, which is like a light orange yellow color, epic, which is purple, and legendary, which is like a dark orange. If you open up your inventory by pressing I and go over to the materials tab, you'll be able to see all the different materials that you've collected and the rarity of each one. While we're here, the inventory management system in Ashes of Creation is kind of a little bit like a Tetris game almost. Each different resource will take up a different amount of space in your bag. So this piece of wood takes up 3 blocks vertically, and I would be able to place it here in this other bag, or here. And as you can see, each different material will have a different amount of space that they take up in your bags. Also, when you start out, you'll only have one bag. You can craft other bags, but you can also just come to pretty much any vendor and they should sell bags. Specifically, the equipment vendors in each relevant starting town should sell every different profession's gathering bag. Once you buy your bag, open up your inventory, and in the items tab, you should see your bag there. You've just got to right click to equip it. Each different profession's bag will also have a different structural setup. So as you can see, this novice mining satchel will have 4 spaces that are specifically designed to carry the relevant profession's materials. And also each bag will be able to carry more of that specific material. So for example, here in my regular Sanctus resource bag, I can carry up to 20 in one stack of wood. So here I've got 11 out of 20. But if you go to my novice lumberjacking satchel, which is specifically meant to hold wood, each stack can carry up to 43. And the higher rarity your bag is, the more it'll be able to carry. It is also very important to note that when you are out there gathering, let's say you've stacked up your bags pretty full, if you do die while you're out in the open world, you will lose 50% of everything that you've gathered. So you'll lose 25% of it just immediately, it's just completely gone. And if you can make it back to your ashes where you previously died before, you can get the other 25% back. But yeah, even just losing 25% of your hard work just really sucks, especially if you've got higher rarity mats. So you're going to want to make sure that you're coming to the storage clerk, in whether you're in a settlement or you're in one of the starter towns. Just make sure that you're regularly coming and storing your materials just so that you don't lose them. And to do that, in the storage menu here, you'd click on materials. Mine is full up, but you'd just either right click on them or drag them over and put them all in here. It is also important to note that your glint will sit in your resource bag, and you sell glint to make gold in this game, and you will also lose 25 to 50% of your glint on death as well. So you can also store your glint here if you want to. When it comes to mining specifically, if you're looking for ruby or copper or any of the other minerals that aren't just stone, you used to be able to just find like veins of ruby, like how you see this basalt. There used to just be a vein of ruby or copper, and you'd be able to just walk up to it and mine it that way. They've now made a change where the minerals are an RNG chance to be collected when you mine a normal rock, like basalt. So if I were to mine this now, I'm definitely going to get some basalt, maybe good rarity, maybe common rarity, and then there's also a chance for me to get some other resources or minerals such as ruby or copper. Like how in this one you can see I got 5 rare basalt and 5 rare copper. But yeah, it's a chance to get copper. So you may get some, you may not get some. For hunting, you'll see animals out in the open world, just like this hawk. And you'll know that they're huntable because they don't move around. They just stay in one spot. And they'll also have the name on top of their model, and they'll have this little hunting symbol that you can see next to hawk. So same thing, you'll just go up and click F, and then you'll start gathering the hawk essentially. So I'm pretty sure that hunting and fishing do both have some placeholder systems, and they're not in their final form yet. And I will make update videos once we get those full systems fleshed out. While you're running around and gathering, you may also run into a couple of resources that if you try to gather them, it'll say requires apprentice herbalism certificate, or will require you to have a certain tier of gathering. So on tiers, every 10 levels that you level up one of your gathering professions, you'll be able to upgrade it to a new tier. So for example, if I were to reach level 10 in lumberjacking, at level 10, I would be able to upgrade my lumberjacking certificate to the apprentice tier, and I would then be able to gather that higher tier of resources, and then that higher tier of resources can in turn craft higher tier gear. And to upgrade to that higher tier, once you do hit level 10, you would then have to find the corresponding foreman NPC. So I would have to find a lumberjacking foreman, for example, and then you'd talk to him, and in his menus, you can ask him to upgrade your lumberjacking to apprentice tier. So it is also important to note that you can only take a certain amount of the gathering professions to max level. I think it's only 2. So once you get later into the game, you're going to have to pick and choose which you take to max level. When it comes to fishing, it is a little bit complicated of how you need to fish, but you just need to come to any open body of water, click K to bring up your skill tree, then you'd navigate over here to skill book, and under artisan here, if you click on fishing, you can take this and just drag it onto your hotbar, and then you can just click that shortcut key and you'll start fishing. So fishing is a very AFK system right now. I know that they are working on fishing and making a whole system for it. This is kind of just the placeholder. And as long as you've got inventory space, you just sit here and fish, and slowly you'll collect fish. Just remember that if you're AFK for more than 30 minutes, you will get kicked from the game. Just make sure you're moving around every 30 minutes or so. The last tip, but it's also an extremely important tip, is if you're looking for gatherables and you just have no clue where to find them, a great resource is Ash's Codex. They have an interactive map, and you'll be able to put filters and find specifically on the map exactly what you want to find. And Ash's Codex in general is a great resource just for understanding and finding things in the game. I will also be bringing out a more advanced gathering guide, and a guide for processing, and a guide for crafting, so keep your eyes peeled for those. If you guys found this guide helpful, I'd really appreciate a subscribe. I'm Eswin, you're amazing, and have an awesome day.